So, can start now?
Sure. Start. We can remember Baba for a couple of minutes, and then we can start. I'll play a song.
Okay.
Thank you.
शिव बाबा को याद कर, जी भर उसको प्यार कर, सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना। शिव बाबा को याद कर, जी भर उसको प्यार कर, सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना। आया है लेके झूमती बहारें, रिमझिम बरसती स्नेह की फुहारें, रंग निराला है रूप सलोना, दिल चाहे उससे जुदा कब न होना। अब ना इंतजार कर, बैठना हिम्मत हार कर, प्रभु का तू दीदार कर ले मेरे मना। शिव बाबा को याद कर, जी भर उसको प्यार कर, सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना। यादों की लहरों में जो लहराए, एक अलौकिक सुख वो पाए। शूली को कांटा कर दे, कांटे को जूही, पर्वत को राई कर दे, राई को रूई। दिल ही दिल में बात कर, मन में मुलाकात कर, खुद को तू आजाद कर ले मेरे मना। शिव बाबा को याद कर, जी भर उसको प्यार कर, सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना। सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना। सांसों को आबाद कर ले मेरे मना।
Santi, good morning. Let us continue with revising Baba's Avik Murli of 13th January 1978. So Baba says, the 9th point, Baba is meeting groups. Baba says, do you consider yourselves to be multi-million times fortunate? An income of multi-millions is being accumulated at every step. Do you experience yourselves to be masters of such countless multi-millions? In the whole world, there are a handful out of multi-millions who create such an elevated fortune for themselves. The memorial of a handful out of multi-millions and a few out of that is of you souls, because you know the Father who has come in an ordinary form, and his task is the part of a handful out of multi-millions. You know him, you have accepted him, and have attained him. You know him, you have accepted him, and have attained him. When the master of the world has become yours, then the world is yours, is it not? Just as when the seed is in your hands, the tree is anyway yours, is it not? You have now found the one whom you were looking for. You found God while sitting at home, and so there should be so much happiness. God made me belong to him. Maintain this happiness, and your vision will not be drawn anywhere. Even while looking at something in front of you, you will not see it. You found the Father, you found everything. This is the greatest happiness of all. Let your mind dance in this happiness. What else can be of greater happiness than this? This is why it is remembered. If you want to know about supersensuous joy, ask the gopis and gopis. So we souls have been chosen by God, and we are multi-million times fortunate. And just by remembering this, we are able to experience that intoxication and that supersensuous joy. Who is it that has found us? Who is it that we belong to? And so at the confluence age, we are playing a direct part with God himself. And so just this realization of this highest fortune that we all have allows us to then maintain that spiritual intoxication. And so Baba says, you know him, you have accepted him, and you have attained him. And it is through belonging to Baba, then we automatically then belong to the entire world. So let's take a moment and experience ourselves to be those souls who are multi-million times fortunate. We have been handpicked by God to help him in the task of world transformation. Let us move to the next point. Baba says, 10th point, do you constantly consider yourself to have the fortune of happiness? Do you have the faith that in the whole world, yours is the highest fortune? No one else can have the fortune of happiness that you have. The Father himself came and made us belong to him. While speaking of this fortune, constantly continue to dance in happiness. What would the fortune of such souls be when they have happiness one moment and sorrow the next? However, your fortune is imperishable. Constantly remain embodiments of bliss, those with such fortune. You have attained what you didn't even have in your dreams. You found the Father, you found everything. Maintain this happiness, and you will constantly be an embodiment of power. Maintain this happiness, and you will constantly be an embodiment of power. So let's take a moment and experience the happiness of belonging to Baba. We souls have been searching for God for 63 births. It is now that we have found Baba, rather Baba has found us. That eternal relationship that the soul was yearning to experience, the soul is now able to soak in the experience of being loved by God. Having found Baba, there is nothing else that the soul needs. Let's move on to the next point. Number 11. Baba says the most elevated life is Brahmin life. The name of Brahmins is the highest. Their task is the highest, and their stage is the highest. Just as the praise of Brahmins is the highest, in the same way, do you experience yourselves to be true Brahmins? That is, those who have the highest stage. The Father is the highest on high, and you are the highest on high. Maintain the awareness that the Father and you are the highest, and your actions and thoughts will automatically be the highest. Burn the old accounts with the fire of yoga. The fire should be so intense that all name and trace of anything wasteful finish. At the confluence age, you have to finish the old accounts and start new accounts. If the old account continues, you will then not have the attainment of happiness that you should have. 1 minute you will be weak, and 1 minute you will be powerful. The Father is constantly powerful, and so the children also have to be constantly powerful. Acha. Let's maintain the awareness of this most elevated Brahman life. In the entire cycle, this is the most elevated part of the soul, being a Brahman. We maintain the awareness that the Father is the highest, and I, the soul, I belong to Baba, and my actions, my thoughts are the highest. I, the soul, I am at the confluence. I am transitioning from the old body conscious self to the new soul conscious self. I experience the fire of yoga that transforms any old traces of sanskars. I'm able to experience being myself, the highest self, in a natural way. Let's move to the 12th group. Baba says, do you constantly consider yourselves to be the most elevated great souls? Great souls are those with such awareness that every thought and every action automatically become great, that is most elevated. In today's world, souls who have a temporary position stay in the intoxication of that day and night by maintaining the awareness of their position. In fact, it is easy and natural to keep in your awareness the position we have received from the Father. As is your position, so are your actions. As is your name, so your actions are elevated. Therefore, at present, you would be called easy yogis and also karma yogis. A karma yogi means all souls would have a vision of your love and relationship with the Father through your every action. When you look at a soul who is in love with worldly souls, you can see that that soul is lost in love from that one's face and sparkle. Similarly, ask yourself, does your every action give the experience of being a loving soul to the Father? This is known as being a karma yogi. The definition of a karma yogi or an easy Raja yogi is very deep. Every thought of a karma yogi or an easy Raja yogi soul would spread vibrations of the Father's love. Just as non-living images are even today carrying out the task of giving souls vibrations of peace and temporary happiness, So definitely, in the living form, you must have carried out the task of spreading the vibrations of constant happiness and peace and the Father's love into the world through your thoughts, words, and deeds. This is why there is peace in the non-living images. When instruments of science are able to create vibrations and an atmosphere of heat or cold, then you master almighty authorities with your silence. That is, with the power of your remembrance and your stage of love, can create whatever atmosphere or vibrations you want. Practice this. You can create an atmosphere of happiness, peace, or form of power even right now. Whatever atmosphere souls are in, they should experience that they have come here into an atmosphere of happiness from an atmosphere of sorrow. They should realize that they are attaining a lot of happiness here. Just as you experience heat or cold in an air-conditioned room, that you have truly come into a place of cool air from a place of heat, or you have come to a warm place from a cool place, so too from your face and behavior and from the power of your thoughts, they should experience happiness, peace, and power. Just as you experience coming into light from darkness in a second, do you not? People of today will not be able to experience this with their power, but all of you will have to make them experienced on the basis of your attainments and your remembrance. This is the real definition of easy Raja Yoga and Karma Yoga. To experience peace and power for your own self is not a big deal. But now, through your power of remembrance, create an atmosphere in the world with these vibrations. And you will then be said to be number wise, easy Rajyogis. Do not make just yourself content. Remain content and make everyone else content. This is the task of a yogi. Acha. So let us pause here and then we will continue tomorrow with the rest of the Murli. Let's take a moment to experience being absorbed in Baba's love. In our home, we just soak in the light of Baba's love. And when we souls step onto the field of action, we radiate Baba's love through our vibrations, our face, our features. We are easy Raj Yogis. We are Karma Yogis. Souls who naturally stay connected to Baba and spread Baba's vibrations in the world. We souls become a conduit for God's vibrations to reach out to all the souls in the world. Om Shanti. Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, family. So today we revised a few points. And the main theme was really happiness felt. And Baba was saying fortune, happiness, the most elevated Brahman life. We have been selected by God to stay in that intoxication in a natural way and to experience the super sensuous joy that is being remembered as those gopis and gopis. And Baba says the more we stay in that intoxication, we become natural karma yogis and raja yogis. And it's not just we are experiencing Baba's love, but we are also radiating Baba's love. So Baba says that's the definition of being a true Raja Yogi, Karma Yogi. Om Shanti. Let's maybe open up, see if there are anyone would like to share.
Om Shanti, brother. Just, I don't know what to say the way you started the session. It took my memory lane. I was just, the first thing, the first point which you read, I don't know where my mind traveled. I remember years back, I think when I was young, when I was just out of college or something, I took part in, there used to be an essay contest conducted by Competition Success Review, CSR. I can give you it as CSR 205, 206. And I had one in that first essay, which was Sweet Are the Uses of Adversity of Shakespeare. The second one was, if there is no God, it is necessary to invent him. This was the topic. And I really would like to go down to how did I really share in that? What did I share in that? It was something connected to Spinoza's philosophy. But I remember that euphoria I got when I went to that essay and took part in it. If there is no God, it is necessary to invent him. And I think that seed was, I already had the seed of spirituality in me, but I never knew that I didn't find God. I knew I was with him. I was not in Gyan, but I always believed in that philosophy. I searched for God and found only myself. I searched for myself and found only God. As if he and I and he, we are both so much intertwined in each other that there cannot be a third thing. But when I was in search, I didn't know I was in search, to be honest. When I just came to know, I don't want to go through that milestone because I think I'll start crying. But when that first part which you said, no, accept, attain. There is a volume of emotions and everything filled in it, Saurabhai. I don't know just how to tell you that one word. And then the second sentence which you emphasized, the master of world is mine. Even the second part, world is mine, didn't touch me much. But the master of the world is mine. See, such explosive statements. And the third, the seed is in my hand. I don't know how to share with you what feeling we get. And to imagine in 1978, this whole point was mentioned by Baptata himself. Imagine the feeling which would have been run by his children who were there on the side and who are listening to it for the first time. If it is a repeat performance, I think it really, you get these goosebumps. But I think this one thing really took me down memory lane, and I would love to enjoy to find how did I start this journey? What was that essay I wrote? And what is this concept? Thank you, Saurabha. You really, I don't know, you created something in our hearts today. Master of the world is mine, the seed is in my hand, and he made me belong to him. Thank you, Saurabha. I think I'm going to bask myself in this Om Shanti.
Thank you for sharing. That's so beautiful. We can feel the vibrations of the sensuous joy from your sharing. So thank you for sharing.
Om Shanti. So, Baba says, the real task of a yogi, right? Baba says, you remain content and make everyone else content. Don't, just make yourself content alone, but you also have to make everyone else experience that joy and happiness. So, Baba also gave a very beautiful example about the science that, if the warm atmosphere, right, science can change it to, with the power of science, right, it can change it to a cool atmosphere. So similarly, we need to make the atmosphere powerful to such an extent that somebody comes, right, they should be able to feel that vibration, and they should be able to take something with them, some good feeling. So they have to, end of the day, they should get something from us. So this is also our task, not just we enjoy this, the power of yoga and that which we take from Baba, but also share it with the world and let others also have the opportunity of experiencing Baba through us. Om Shanti, thank you.
Very nice. Other thoughts?
But Saurabha, I just wanted to ask you something. When I used to often read stories of Meera, stories of, in Tamil philosophy, they used to say any devotee they used the word crazy. Like, we had Murugadas. Murugadas was crazy after Lord Muruga, Ramdas. So they used to suffix them with the word das. And I have seen pictures of these people just singing praise of the Lord, going from place to place, not aware of their body and all. I've read such stories and all. And I know what is the bliss they have given. So even they have found what their mind sought. Some wanted Muruga, some wanted Ram, some the ISKCON, Krishna and all. So even that, I can see the love which they have for whatever they sought. But our love over here is something different. So I sometimes tell Baba, sometimes I feel you're very partial. Only a few of them you're touching and giving your real form, your real thing, when actually they are scanning for the truth. So don't you think, Baba, you should touch everyone like this? It's not only we, why you call only us your children, Baba? Even see all these people are madly in love. I don't think I did even 30% of what they, 20% of what they. So, I tried to compare the feeling. Do you get such feelings when you see such people and what you have attained?
Yeah, that's a good point. I do feel that when I do learn a lot from devotees, especially, like you said, those who have that undying love, intense love for God. And sometimes, I do feel that after coming into Gyan, it's so important to still have that yearning, that feeling, because that is what creates the fire of yoga, the intense love for God. I remember once, Jagdish Bhai was just asking all the teachers that, have you ever had, like tears in Baba's love, and had any one of you really were you really looking to, belong to God, like, such devotee souls have their part. So I think, because through knowledge, it's, through Gyan, we are able to detach from this whole world, be, conscious of who we are. But then from that point to feel Baba's love, I think this deep yearning, has this deep love, is the, is kind of the spark ignition. It's just like, when we compress the mixture in an engine, so that compression happens through knowledge, so that the charge is then ready to be burned. But then that spark is that spark of love. And when that spark, gets initiated, it's then that, the soul feels like it's, it's like the fire has been lit. And then the soul feels completely light, like everything has been, burnt away. And so that, I think it's very important to still hold on to those feelings that we used to have on the path of devotion. Yeah, it's just like when we become soul conscious and then have those, same feelings for Shiv Baba. Sometimes Baba also says, between yoga and bhakti, it's not a very big difference. In bhakti, we just have love towards an image, but in Gyan, in yoga, we have the same love, but towards, the incorporeal God, Shiv Baba. And so that feeling, that soul to soul feeling, connection, heart to heart connection has to be there. Yeah.
Do you think I'm still a devotee soul? Because I've asked Baba this question. I've got no response. Whenever I get this feeling, I said, Baba, please, I'm not a devotee soul, Baba, but do you think sometimes it's just asking you kind of a thing? Because I've asked Baba, I've never got a reply. When all these feelings, caring and share comes in, sometimes I feel, hey, stop, you're not a devotee.
Yeah, I do feel that, it's like, of course, we are in Gyan, right? So our path is now with Baba, we are Brahmins. But really to have those feelings of devotion is good, is what I feel. Those feelings, true feelings, is so important to have. That bhavna towards God, towards God's task, towards God's family. It's so important to have that, because that's what creates, experience in yoga, is what I feel. Otherwise, sometimes, it's like after coming into Gyan, because we know everything, it could become so dry, without that, feeling of who is it that you belong to. And that's what I felt Papa was reminding today. Just remember how fortunate you are. So, right. Yeah. Sometimes Baba say, unadulterated devotion also. It's like, Baba also has, a lot of love and respect towards souls who have, those feelings of devotion. It's just that now we direct or channelize those feelings in the right way. Yeah, that we go to whom. That's why Baba says, give this knowledge to devotees, because they will understand, because they have that, somewhere that connection with God, and so that they will understand.
Om Shanti, brother. So I would ask this question. Probably we can do a little bit of journeying on this. So Baba says, no, at the 11th point, Baba says the most elevated life is the Brahmin life, right? So that we all know that's the highest of high, and that's when we understand God, and that's when we get very close to God. And at the time, this is the Sangam Yuga, and Baba says one side we are finishing our old accounts, and the other side we are starting creating new accounts. So we are going to carry this account when we leave this world, right? When we go with Baba, when this drama is all over, each one of us is going to go with our karmic accounts, and we will finish the old, and we will have an accumulation of something new, right? Some good karmic accounts. So based on that, we are going to claim a status in Satyuga. So here the question would be, how do we see each one of us would like to create a great karmic account, a good account, okay, where we have done a lot of charitable work, and we were instrument to direct many souls to God, okay. So that's all good karmas, no doubt. But how one can go fast in that, and what are the different methods? Because when it comes to doing charitable work, also there are, one can do at a gross level, and one can do at a very minimum level. And if you can share some of the points, like how one can do it at a gross level, where you can accumulate a lot of good accounts, good karmic accounts. At the same time, it helps one to nullify their old karmic accounts too. And
Right. And I do feel that definitely charitable actions and helping everyone is definitely is good karma. And I feel as Raj Yogis, it's for us, it's like the definition of elevated karma is any action that we perform in Baba's remembrance is the most elevated karma. It's like we are tying God into a karmic, relationship. And so whatever I think, I speak, I do, if it is in Baba's remembrance, if I feel it is for Baba, Baba is doing it, and I, feel my intention is just to express Baba's love through whatever, the soul, comes into interaction. I think that is what, creates the highest, form of karma. It's like, because as we, as Brahmins, we know God, we have accepted Him, we have attained Him. And so it's only us that have the, privilege to integrate God's remembrance in whatever we do. Like no other soul in the world can remember God accurately. Only we can. And that's why I feel Yajna Seva, what we are, given the opportunity for, is really the, one of the most elevated forms of karma. Just doing something little bit at Baba's home in Madhuban, or anything that is Yajna Seva. I feel that is what allows for a lot of old accounts to get settled, and new accounts to form. Baba's remembrance becomes very easy. The more we perform Yajna Seva, it could be a very simple task, that of sweeping the floor or washing dishes, or doing any seva at Baba's home, whatever the Nimit instruments ask us. But I think that's what I feel, and just doing it with that love for Baba, and just feeling Baba is holding my hand, and I'm coming close to Baba. It could be a very simple task, but just doing it in Baba's remembrance makes all the difference.
Thank you.
Yeah, even I agree with you, brother. Whatever be the love you're basking in, you just cannot sit down with your beloved and say, I love you, you love me, both of us love, and make somebody else make my morning coffee, somebody else do the kitchen, somebody else sweep the floor. No, I think this love means business. Because even in yesterday's Sakar Murli, Baba said, only remembrance is not enough. Then he went to study. Only study alone is not enough. Then he spoke about service. Service also is needed for a status. Like all these pointers Baba keeps giving in his even Sakar Murlis and all. You're right when you say, I just cannot change the world by sitting and holding hands with the beloved and saying, see, I will love you as the seas of the ocean shall run dry and all. But here I think this love over here of Baba means business. He's come down for the past 100 years only for a business. And I think he's a very powerful businessman. If I want to be his business partner, as you said, so that in another way you can say it's like settling account and all. Yeah, that I think that also should flow. It's not just hi bye and all. I sometimes think that's what was my contribution. Okay, through at least the mind, not just thinking, oh, those people were not given gyan, oh, Baba didn't take it. But what you did to really undo what you felt your father didn't do. I think, yeah, I like that aspect also, what you said now, Shanti.
Brother, I think we can walk the meditation if no one else has
Sure.
any other questions. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sure. Let's take a moment. And we come back to the awareness of this most elevated, fortunate Brahmin life. A life that is lived with God. A life where every aspect of my thoughts, words, actions revolve around Baba. Baba is at the center of my life. My only responsibility in this life is to just stay connected in love of the One. Baba is the source of all happiness, all love, all powers. Everything else is through Baba. I, the being, the soul, experience being lost in love, Baba. I experience this fortune of being selected by God. We spread these vibrations of love to every soul in the world, so that they are able to come closer, these souls know Him, accept Him, and have attained Him. It is only we that experience the super sensuous joy of belonging to Him. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Saurabh Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a lovely day.